React Native Advantages or 13 Reasons Why to Choose It for the Next Project by ProCoders. What is React Native? In 2015, Facebook sponsored a hackathon challenging developers to create a framework that could make mobile application development faster, easier and cheaper. The result was React Native, which became available for developers to begin working with in 2016. Since then, it has become one of the world's most popular mobile frameworks, mainly because it eliminates the need to use time-consuming HTML or CSS coding, and that's only the beginning. Advantages of React Native. Less code, less cost. React Native does not use HTML or CSS, instead messages from the JavaScript thread are used to manipulate native views. To put it plainly, RN uses a combination of its own user interface paradigm and JavaScript to interact with your existing native code and native APIs. Mobile that connects through platforms. One of the key advantages of React Native is its flexibility for most companies. It's not enough just to have an application that works on a mobile device. It has to interface with a number of different systems and platforms. Coding in reusable blocks. Often apps need to interface with certain native apps in a phone, like the flashlight, the camera location tracker, or more. React Native is designed to do this, offering developers easy blocks of code that they can cut and paste as many times as is necessary in a program. One set of code for two platforms. When apps are built from the ground up using native code, developers have to create it twice, once for Java, Kotlin for Android, and again in Objective-C. Act time equals 0.2s greater than Swift for iOS. And this creates an enormous amount of duplications, not just in the initial development but for every fix and alteration in the future. Live reload shows results as you go. With pure native development, programmers have to go through a lengthy recompiling process with every change. Not so with React Native. The framework eliminates that process with its live reload feature, which allows developers to see the results of their coding in action. New changes can be seen with the ease of refreshing a page. Add new capabilities with ease. Third-party plugins are no problem on this framework because they've eliminated the need for specific WebView functions. It's possible to link the plugin with a native module via RN, resulting in a smoother running, faster loading app that uses less memory. User experience is much improved. React Native is a mobile-first platform designed specifically with the mobile user experience in mind. This attention to usability makes a difference. When you build an app in React Native, JavaScript interacts asynchronously with its native coding environment. Ease of UI design. The React Native framework makes laying out user interfaces a breeze. Developers simply use CSS or Flexbox to create each UI view just as they would if they developed the view in a native app environment. The framework will ensure that the app renders properly on any kind of phone or mobile device. Support for hybrid apps. If a part of your app needs to pop out to the internet or a mail program, the platform can accommodate. Among the advantages of React Native, this can be especially useful when you're sending out forgotten password prompts or emailing customer receipts. Iterate fast, fix bugs fast. Faces greater than the React Native framework makes development faster and cheaper, cutting development in half in most cases, and that ease of development means you can take more risks and try more options. With more time and money to work with, you can invest in more testing and iteration. Backed by Facebook. One of the key considerations when you are developing an app is the longevity of the tools you choose. Choose poorly and you could end up rebuilding your app faster than you ever imagined. A global growing user base. When it comes to this framework, it's pretty fair to say everybody's using it. Of course, we're not suggesting that you should jump into using React Native simply because it's popular. However, should you choose this option, you'll be in pretty good company. Pull from a larger pool of developers. React Native is considerably easier to use than many native developed options. Because of this, more developers have experience working with it, with most companies struggling to recruit enough developers. This decision could make your hiring process easier. Disadvantages of React Native. It's easy to make mistakes. When a framework is easy to use and easy to develop, there are fewer steps needed to achieve a result. If it's easy to code the right thing, it's also easy to code the wrong thing. And sometimes little mistakes can have a big impact on the functioning of your app. This isn't the end of the world, however. Android iterations can be buggy. While React Native doesn't require developers to code separate versions in iOS and Android, it's not always a smooth running process. Once the iterations are SPL it out, the Android version can often run differently than its counterpart. This often includes small bugs in the program which need to be attended to before the app can launch. Scalability can be problematic. We realize this sounds dire. Isn't scalability one of the key factors in choosing any development tool after all? Let us first start by saying that we believe RN can scale for most companies, especially if you have thought ahead in the way you've built out your architecture. As positive as we are about React Native, there are some questions we use to help uncover when a client is not a good candidate for it. But what about payment? React Native developer salary can vary dramatically according to the location and skills of an engineer. The low cost of living in Ukraine means our developers can complete your next mobile app design for a fraction of what you might pay elsewhere, and our ability to staff up for your project means we can complete it faster too. When you work with ProCoders, you can control the level of our activation. Would you like to just hire our team to do research planning and project mapping? We can do that. Would you like to hire us to handle the turnkey development of your React Native project? We can do that too, usually with a contract of just a few months. Subscribe our channel and read more about React Native advantages or 13 reasons why to choose it for the next project at ProCoders blog.